Do you want to paint realistic leaf veins without using a fine brush? Then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Margaret from Sacramento Art Classes, and today I'm going to teach you how you can use a simple tool to create beautiful fine detail leaf veins even before you start adding the paint. And if you click the link below, I'll also send you my free supply list, which goes along with my videos. So let's get started. All right, let's get started. I have some paper already taped off, and I have very lightly drawn a simple leaf shape in there. You'll see it a little bit more once I start adding the paint. And you can do this with pre-drawn leaves, or you can make up your own without drawing first. So you'll need some fall colors. I have some greens, yellow, orange, and red. I'm going to use a larger brush. This is a 6 quill, which Princeton Aqua Elite brush here. You don't need to use something that big, but I like this one. And the most important thing in this is you're going to need a scraping tool. I use this wooden golf tee. You could use a toothpick. You could use a bamboo skewer. I would not use something really sharp like the end of a paper clip, because the idea is we're trying to scratch into the paper a little bit. It's called scoring, or sometimes you might hear people say gouging. So we don't want to tear the paper, but we are making a small scar. So you just need something with a little point on it that you can get that scarred image into. There's 2 different ways to do this, and I'll show you both ways. And you'll find one that you like better. So here is my leaf. The important thing here is to get it wet with water first, just clear water. And my brush might be a little dirty, so you may see a slight tint to my water. But that's probably good for you. It lets you be able to see where I'm going here. But you are using clear water. So we're pre-wetting all of the leaf. And depending on how hot it is in your room or what kind of paper you're using, you may have to do a couple layers of water on here just to allow the water to sink into the paper and start getting those paper fibers softened up a little bit. Okay, so I have a nice even layer of clear water on here. Then with my gouging tool, I'm going to scrape into this. I'm kind of trying to leave like a little valley. Picture a river carving through a valley. I'm going to do the stem also because I would like there to be veining in the stem. So I'm going to follow the stem and go up to the point. It's nice if you give it a little curve, not just a perfectly hard straight line. It's a more believable look if you can curve it, and it doesn't matter whether you start here or here. I'll start up here. So I'm going to just push in. I can kind of even see where I have softened my paper fibers, and that's why it's important to get it wet first. And then from that center, and you may not even be able to see it very well, so this way is a little trickier than way number 2. You're going to do some offshoots of those veins that you see in leaves. Might be nice if you have a leaf to look at, or even a plastic fake flower leaf. And you're going to do the veins. I usually press a little less firmly on the veins because I want them to be a little more delicate than that main one that runs down the middle. All right, so now this is where the magic happens. Once you've got that on there, you can grab any color that you want, and you'll see that it's going to run around, bleed and blend on your paper because you've pre-wet, remember, and your paper should still be wet at this point. And you're going to drop in your paint. You might have to help it to the edges, or you could tip your paper, but I have a lot of stuff on this board, so I'd have to move everything, and I'm not going to tip the paper today. But help this around, and you can see that the paint pigment gathers in those gouges. I'll give myself that stem too. It gathers where I've gouged or scored the paper, and it makes those really cool veins. So your paint will appear darker in there because more of it is gathering. Okay, so that's a simple green leaf. What if you want it to be, have a variety of colors in there? You can do whatever you want in that. So while it's still wet, maybe you want to drop in a little yellow somewhere. Perhaps it's fall and it's starting to turn colors. Or maybe you want to have some red in there. I always think it looks cool if you have a little red down here at the base. And then again, if I could tip, let's see if I can move this. If you tip it, it will run on its own. And you can even drop a few more drops in here. And I like to have a little bit of red up at the point too. Be careful not to tip for too long because you could actually go get a drip off the edge. So you may even want to tip back this way. Let it be really organic. Let it move on its own as much as you can. Try to resist the urge to constantly help it. It's okay to keep dropping in more colors, but maybe just rather than moving things around with your brush all the time, let it move on its own. I'll just go like that, and then I'm going to call that done. Okay. I won't tip it so that you can see what it does on its own, and we can go on and add a second leaf up at the top. I changed my mind. I do want to tip it. There we go. Okay, so let's lay that flat. Make sure I'm still on the camera for you. And real quick, we're going to do leaf number 2. Leaf number 2, I have not drawn it yet. So I'm just going to paint it first. This time I'm going to paint it with, before I score it. I'm going to add actual paint. So first, remember we wet the leaf first, so I'm going to give myself a little stem, and I have to do a little guesswork because I can't see where I am. I didn't draw first, but I just want you to see a couple of different varieties of ways to paint. So here's my leaf. This one maybe is a little skinnier. Okay, can't see it, right? So now I got to put in some paint. So here comes my paint. Because I pre-wet that leaf, the paint will flow everywhere that water is. It won't go beyond where my water placement is. And I have a little time to deposit other colors in here. Here's a little yellow. Maybe there's going to be some there too. And how about if there's just a little bit of green left, maybe down in the stem or something like that. Okay, so now this one is different because we didn't gouge it first or score it first. So if you paint first, then score, it's easier for you to see where you're making these marks because your leaf is already painted. So I would say try it each way and just see which way you like better. Remember that central vein that runs up the middle should be a little curve to it. It just looks better with a little curve on there. Okay, so one last little tip of the paper so that that paint on that one can go everywhere I need it to go. And that's it. You can already see the paint starting to collect in the veins, and I hope you try this. This is really great to do for a card, a greeting card, or a fall card, or just a beautiful picture. As you're painting, if you still feel like you're struggling with that paint and water ratio, I have another video out that is called Struggling with Water and Paint Ratios. So I'll link it below if you want to check that out. And you can also click a link to get my free supply list, which goes right along with these videos. So I hope you liked it. If you want me to make anything else, any different kinds of videos, or if you have any questions for me about this, please feel free to put comments in below and give me a thumbs up or like this video. Thanks. I'll see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.